Breaking news! Millions of people are losing thousands of pounds on Ozempic, and they are looking as lean and as snatched as ever. They're so light like a feather that if they turn to the left, they'll disappear. Studies have shown that they spend most days vomiting, sitting on the toilet with diarrhea, having nausea, dizziness. They somehow have become depressed, and also they're having a hard time seeing out of their own eyes. And some people have even died from it. Come on, why haven't you tried the Ozempic? You know you want to. According to a recent poll, 6% of Americans have tried the very popular drug that we know as Ozempic. I know that doesn't sound like very many people, but it is 15.5 million people. Whether it was for weight loss or diabetes, it is no lie that this drug has completely swept the nation, even the globe at this point. Maybe it would have something to do with its widespread awareness all over the media like the plague, or the fact that dozens of A-list celebrities are walking around with a brand new look, all under the guise of a newfound healthy lifestyle. It seems like today, nobody wants to be brutally honest with you anymore, but I promise you that I will. Baby, I'll always keep it real with you. Don't you worry. Today, I'm about to deep dive into some things that you might not have known and maybe even don't want to know about our good friend Ozempic. And yeah, it's potentially life-threatening. Everybody, let's buckle up because I'm about to embark on a journey and you're coming along with me. Now, let me break down what this quote-unquote miracle drug called Ozempic really is. Ozempic! So, what is Ozempic? Wegovy, Mounjaro, Rybelsus? That literally sounds like the name of the new Alien movie. Ozempic is a prescription medication that was originally developed for people with type 2 diabetes to help control their blood sugar levels. It works by mimicking the natural hormone that we developed called GLP-1 that helps to lower blood sugar, slow down digestion, and also reduces appetite. Obviously, for all those reasons alone, it became very popular off-label for weight loss, even though it is mainly a diabetes management drug. All of these diabetes and weight loss management drugs, like Wegovy, like Ozempic, they are all created by the global pharmaceutical company called Novo Nordisk, and Ozempic was only FDA approved in 2017. Wegovy was then created based off the model of Ozempic because so many people were taking Ozempic for weight loss management, even though it is specifically a diabetes medication. Wegovy is specifically for weight loss. But then Wegovy was only FDA approved in 2021. So this drug in particular, even though people want to argue that semaglutide has been around for a really long time, this drug Ozempic has not been around for very long. Only about a year ago did we start to see this crazy rise in popularity of extreme skinniness. And I started to wonder, where is this all coming from? In the media, so many people are like bone thin. Do people just love to work out? While some celebrities like Sharon and Kelly Osbourne have been super open about their Ozempic use, and Kelly Osbourne said, and I quote, "There are a million ways to lose weight. Why not do it through something that isn't as boring as working out? The people who hate on it the most are the people who are secretly doing it or pissed off that they can't afford it." Wow, how charming. Unlike that extreme level of honesty, a lot of other celebrities have been a lot more secretive about this said alleged Ozempic use. But come on, it's written on the walls, you guys. Lana Del Rey stunts in new photo. Ozempic has claimed another soldier. Girlies, she's down. She's down. We know what's going on, Lana. She does look absolutely snatched, but if you guys remember from barely a year ago, this is an insane transformation that Lana has had. Ozempic or no Ozempic, it is crazy. Chloe talking about weight loss and Ozempic.
One comment that we heard repetitively is everyone wanted to know your workout regimen.
I do circuit training with cardio intervals, so I'm always spiking my heart rate up and down. For a shoot like that where I know I'm going to be showing a lot of skin, I definitely work out much harder. And then I always celebrate with full large pizza because that's just the way it goes. But life's about balance. So like, there you go. When I was bigger, if they had Ozempic, I probably would have tried it because I tried any other thing. I tried any fad weight loss trend except for the real thing that actually works. And that's a lifestyle change. So I really want to encourage healthiness and not about the number on a scale. I just think people should be active. I don't really care what your size is, and you should just be healthy and stronger for yourself.
I don't know, guys. Do we believe her? Leave me a comment down below. Do we believe that Chloe is just lifting them weights? She's not lifting them drugs. You know what I'm saying? One of the main comments, so sick of all the lies. The entire family is on weight loss drugs, whether it's Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. Stop lying. The entire family is on Ozempic. All of them on Ozempic. She technically didn't lie. It was Mounjaro, not Ozempic. Are you kidding me? I'm not saying that these Kardashians can't possibly lose this weight on their own. You know, people say, Lael, they have trainers. They have the best diet dietitians, they've got all the money in the world. It's the fact that they are all very naturally curvy women who have never been honest in the first place about any of the procedures they've undergone. So what makes this any different? And all of them, every single one of them, all this level of lean and skinny and tiny, all at the exact same time? The math isn't mathing. Make it make sense.
Khloe Kardashian is clapping back at the comments. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Ozempic recently, the diabetes medication a lot of people are apparently using for weight loss. Someone commented on Khloe's post and goes, the fact that she uses diabetic medicine to get this skinny is disturbing. Khloe responded and goes, let's not discredit my years of working out. I get up 5 days a week at 6 a.m. to train. Please stop with your assumptions. I guess New Year still means a mean people.
But she didn't deny it. Hey. Chris is even on it. I think Corey, her boyfriend, is even on it. Like, who is this diva? And it's no coincidence that every celebrity all over every dusty corner of the earth just all happens to look the exact same right now. So these before and afters are crazy. Kim Kardashian, we've got Kylie Jenner. Absolutely massive changes, you guys, in my opinion. Like, it is crazy to be somebody that has this BBL crazy thick body type and then to be tiny all at the same time. I know you guys aren't being honest. Okay, again, Nikki, I don't know about Nikki. Lana, do you guys see this transformation? Don't even get me started. Am I saying she doesn't also work out? Look at that little quad muscle. Of course, I'm sure she works out. I'm sure she moves around. But I'm saying that this is a drastic weight loss. It just seems like I don't believe any of you. I don't. I actually believe you less. I would be lying if I said that celebrities don't play a massive role in current beauty trends and what is desirable right now. We had the supermodel skinny trend of the 90s, then throughout the 2000s, women were growing thicker and more curvy and more curvaceous looks. BBLs were extraordinarily popular until now we are rotating right back into this unbelievable skinniness. And if you guys don't like the word skinny, I'm so sorry, this might not be the video for you because lean, petite, little, small, I don't know. And are we just gonna sit here and ignore the Ozempic faces that we keep seeing? We can't keep hiding from the truth. After this prolonged use of Ozempic, a lot of people end up looking a lot like Scott Disick, sunken in. They literally look like the Crypt Keeper, or they just go ahead and they opt for a facelift like Christina Aguilera or Kylie Jenner. Alleged. You guys already know from my latest video how absolutely terrifying facelifts can be. More than anything, I would just be so worried if something was to go wrong and something was to happen to me if I ever decided to get a facelift on my own. With any medical procedure, there's always risk. But what happens if something goes wrong due to negligence? Who's there to protect you? What if you're in the operating room for a facelift and due to a slip up, a nurse accidentally damages a nerve in your face, leaving you with permanent facial weakness? Navigating the aftermath of a medical mishap can be extremely overwhelming. Traditional injury firms often make it harder with endless paperwork, time-consuming processes, and the headache of scheduling appointments. That's why it is so important to have somebody on your side who understands these challenges and makes the process as smooth and transparent as possible. That's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. As America's largest injury law firm, they have over 1,000 attorneys operating in all 50 states. And when you're seriously hurt, your injury could be worth millions. Morgan & Morgan don't settle for lowball offers. They fight for every dollar you deserve. Just recently, they achieved some significant verdicts for their clients. $12 million in Florida, that is 34 times the highest insurance offer. And $26 million in Philadelphia, which was 40 times the highest insurance offer. With Morgan & Morgan, there is no upfront cost, and the fee is absolutely free unless you win. And it only takes a few minutes to find out if you have a case. If you've ever been seriously injured, your case could be worth millions, and you're only a few clicks away from potentially changing your life. It's so easy to start your claim now. You can visit forthepeople.com/Lael in the description, or simply scan the QR code on the screen here with your phone's camera. Thank you so much to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video. Hearing celebrities like Oprah and Rebel Wilson just share their immense gratitude for their new bodies and their new way of life after using Ozempic, it kind of creates this false idea that it is actually very effective and safe for weight loss alone. It makes the average girlie on the street think, oh, well, if I want to lose these last 10 pounds, Ozempic is definitely the best way to do it. Or it sells the idea to somebody that has struggled with obesity their entire life that this is the miracle that they've been waiting for. Well, let's be honest, all of this marketing is actually very alarming because it doesn't share how dangerous this drug can actually be used specifically only for weight loss. These glamorous superstars aren't going to share with you the fact that they were sitting on the toilet with diarrhea all morning. You'll see these beautiful bodies, you'll see how snatched and 20 pounds lighter they might be, but you didn't know that before they went on the Drew Barrymore show, they were just spewing their guts all inside the dressing room. These are some of the more minor effects that you might experience taking Ozempic for weight loss: fatigue, dizziness, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting. First day of Ozempic to be skinny. ended up in the hospital because I couldn't even hold water down for a minute for 3 days. That's not normal. We need water. But what about the long-term risks? What about risks that are actually a little bit more serious, such as pancreatitis, kidney issues, hypoglycemia, or even thyroid cancer? Oh, you're sitting there on the other side of the screen going, oh, Lael, there is no way. It's just a medication. There's no way that I could ever get a crazy side effect like that. Babe, it literally says it on their website with back data.
Ozempic is awful.
While rare, the side effects can be crippling.
For 3 days, she's had horrible pain in her stomach.
Canadian researchers now say popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic can be linked to serious digestive problems.
There's really no such thing as a miracle drug. If they want to start it for weight loss, it's very important that they're aware of the risks.
In the first published large population level study, researchers found, compared to another medication approved for obesity management, people using diabetes drugs for weight loss are at 9 times higher risk of pancreatitis, which can cause severe abdominal pain, requiring hospitalization and surgery, 4 times higher risk of bowel obstruction, and nearly 4 times higher risk of gastroparesis or stomach paralysis.
These are crazy numbers. 9 times a higher risk for pancreatitis? Sorry?
That can cause severe nausea and vomiting. Weight management doctors who've also done work for the drug companies say that makes sense.
When we look at a medication that works at a much higher level and causes much more weight loss, we're going to see more side effects.
Overall, the study found up to 2 in every 100 patients using obesity drugs developed gastrointestinal problems. The findings are observational and don't prove cause and effect, but the US FDA recently announced warning labels on Ozempic will be updated.
Good.
Adding the drug may also increase the risk of a life-threatening intestinal blockage.
A life-threatening intestinal blockage? Just so we can lose 10 pounds to go to Hawaii? Girl, come on. These are side effects that will affect your whole life. It's not whether it will or it won't. It's the gamble that makes me so horrified of this drug for people just trying to lose a couple pounds. It seems like every time I do research for a video like this, where I do deep dive on Ozempic, it is so hard to ignore the amount of people that have had life-threatening experiences. Studies show that a staggering 80 to 90% of participants taking Ozempic will experience at least one side effect or complication, whether it's something as minimal as nausea and vomiting or as insane and intense as pancreatitis. Honestly, it's a gamble at this point. Throw in your coins, pull the slot machine, let's just see what happens. I think people who have wanted to lose weight for a very long time will see this glamorized in Hollywood, never speaking about any of the side effects or complications that maybe even Khloe Kardashian, oops, I said it, might be experiencing, because it really does seem amazing and it seems like this crazy miracle drug. It literally feels like something that came from the heavens. But in order to see results with this drug, you actually have to be on it for a very long time in order for it to be effective. Does that mean that you're living with these adverse effects every day for a year? Are you constantly nauseous? Are you constantly having stomach problems and gastrointestinal problems? These drugs are intended for long-term use. Stopping them often results in weight regain. While nausea and diarrhea might seem manageable, more severe health risks, including pancreatitis, are a real concern. Now, we're obviously talking about physical complications, but we are not even talking about mental side effects and complications you could experience taking one of these weight loss drugs. Like, are there any? Because none of the Hollywood hotties are talking about it. Not just from studies alone, but the amount of information you can find with a simple TikTok search, Googling, looking on Reddit, the amount of people speaking about the way that their mental health was completely ruined by Ozempic is staggering. Ozempic created massive amounts of depression, anxiety, and mood swings when there weren't any to begin with. This is my first post to Reddit. I am desperate for advice and some insight. I have been on Ozempic for several months and have been increasingly depressed. From as far back as I can remember, I have suffered from mental health issues, mainly depression and ADD. I don't know if I'm going through something very difficult or it's possibly the Ozempic. I'm trying to rule things out. Has anyone had crippling depression on Ozempic? I don't know what to do at this point. Ozempic makes you feel like absolute garbage. Essentially, it slows down your stomach mobility, so you always feel full. You can't enjoy almost any food because you feel like you either want to throw it up or it's still in your stomach for hours later. You're basically starving yourself, and although you get skinnier, you lose all your muscle because it also feels kind of gross to work out. Seems like a very unhealthy way to lose weight unless you are absolutely doing nothing. However, it did make me actually realize that I have to live a healthy lifestyle to avoid being on this garbage in the future. Ozempic is also linked to a very high level of of suicidal ideation. The research has revealed that 45% increased risk of suicidal ideation in patients taking semaglutide compared to other medications. Out of 30,527 total reports for semaglutide, 107 cases of suicidal or self-injurious reactions were identified, and the association remained significant even after accounting for other factors. The research revealed a 45% increased risk of suicidal ideation in patients taking semaglutide compared to other medications. I have seen so many different videos. Selena Spookyboo was one of the girls that actually talked about this and how it absolutely destroyed her mental health, and I really want to understand why. Because at this point, when you look at this drug, you are trading your physical health and your physical happiness as well as your mental happiness. So what is it really worth losing those pesky extra pounds if you are completely miserable? You are living as a shell of a human and you have no life to live because you can't even get out of bed in the morning. You are so unhappy and you are so physically ill. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Your serotonin, what produces your contentment and happiness, 95% is made in the gut. And again, the Ozempic essentially is gut dysfunction. So when you mess with the serotonin and mess with the gut, a lot of unexpected things happening. And very understandably, and really what's to be expected, is we're actually seeing reports of a mass increase in mental health disorders and even suicidal ideation from Ozempic. Kind of you just back up and ask, this miracle drug is too good to be true.
You guys, the more we dig into this, the more that I cannot believe that we're finding. And the reality is these pharmaceutical companies obviously run a lot of tests before they put this drug out to the public. But a lot of people say, whether it's in plastic surgery, whether it's in medicine, they have to test these drugs on the people. They also have to put these drugs out to the people to see what happens because you're the last level of testing. So even though this drug originally came out very recently and we've only heard so much information about it, it really feels as if now we are starting to see, and will probably continue seeing for the next few years, what this drug actually does to people and its long-term effects 20 years from now. What's even worse is now there are doctors that are going ahead and prescribing Ozempic for people that already struggle with pre-existing mental health disorders. Some antidepressants are known to have a 5% weight increase for people taking them. So to combat the weight increase, these doctors are prescribing Ozempic to keep your weight down, even though Ozempic is terrible for your mental health. People taking antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications alongside semaglutide were at an even higher risk of reporting suicidal thoughts. A 150 to 300% increase in suicidal ideation was found among this group.
Some psychiatrists are now prescribing it for their patients. It's a story we first saw in the New York Times, and Janae Norman is here with that. Good morning, Janae.
Good morning to all of you. So there's evidence that the weight gain from some medications used to treat mental health disorders leads to patients not taking them as they should. So some doctors are now using drugs like Ozempic to try to change that.
This morning, a potential new use for the popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic. Treating weight gain in patients who are taking antidepressants and antipsychotics. Some mental health medications may cause weight gain. One review reporting that patients gained 5% of their weight on certain antidepressants.
One of the leading reasons why patients stop taking medicines for depression and other mood disorders is weight gain.
So you have a pre-existing mental health disorder, you're taking an antidepressant to help aid that, and then in order to help aid that, you have to take Ozempic to combat the fact you might lose weight, but then it could make these suicidal ideations like 150 to 300% worse. It seems like a very slim amount of people, slim no pun intended, it seems like a very slim amount of the population could go ahead and be able to handle this. I'm sure it is very devastating to gain 20 pounds on an antidepressant. It's probably so annoying, but those risks are too much. At the end of the day, these drugs do have a psychological effect, no matter how excited you are about the weight loss. Even living on its own, just getting through the day becomes so difficult when you're having these side effects.
Therapeutic dose of 1 milligram. And at this point, the stomach pain was kind of getting unbearable. Like first it was at certain meals, then it was eating or drinking anything. At this point, it was upon waking. As soon as I would get up and move my body at all, I would have gallbladder pain.
You can't live like this. Like, it has to be understood that it is a glamorous thought that you can just casually lose weight on a drug and you don't have to do anything. But to have gallbladder pain upon waking, upon going to bed, upon kissing your husband goodnight, that is not normal. Jamie French is obviously a YouTuber sharing her story, but there are so many people out there that experience these exact same pains and issues that never shared it online, that have never talked about it. Now, what's even more terrifying, as time has passed, there have been a reported 162 deaths specifically from these drugs drugs in the US alone. There are a lot of studies out there, but what about the things that go unreported? I always wonder that when we talk about fillers and Botox. Sure, there's people that talk about it, there's people that come out with their stories, but what about the amount of people in the ER for these complications that have never talked about it? They silently discontinued the use of this drug and they forget about it, where all of us are left in the dark and we still continue to believe this lie, this marketing plot, that this is a wonderful drug that's going to change our life.
Depending on how you look at it, 1% of the population that takes this drug ends up with gastroparesis or one of these horrible side effects that literally just derails their life.
His lawsuit against Novo Nordisk, the makers of Ozempic and the makers of similar drugs, represents over 2,000 patients across the country.
This isn't just America, it's all across the globe as well, within Australia, Canada, you name it. If you thought death being caused by this drug is scary, think about waking up one day not being able to see anything at all. Ozempic actually does cause blindness. It even states on their website, under the complications and the things to be wary about, is that there is a potential for vision loss and changes in your vision. There is a class action lawsuit going on right now because over 1 million people woke up with vision problems.
Somebody that they knew well took Ozempic, and the next day, I was doing a little research on Ozempic before this, and one of the ads that popped up was for a class action lawsuit going on right now with over 1 million people that are suing Ozempic. What they say is that they took Ozempic and then went blind or had significant vision loss. And it was interesting because when I read that, I remembered a conversation I had with somebody online who commented, post that I did about Ozempic, and they said that somebody that they knew well took Ozempic and the next day lost 80% of their vision in one of their eyes and it never returned. And then another person, and I'm like, holy, why isn't anybody talking about this?
We discussed this said vision loss very deeply in my last Ozempic video, which you can watch right here. It is absolutely terrifying. And you can actually find this class action lawsuit online if you want to go and look for it. Ozempic blindness lawsuit. It is an active lawsuit. The American Association of Ophthalmology suggests that Ozempic and other GLP-1 drugs can cause blindness or vision loss in several ways. The most common vision problem associated with Ozempic and other semaglutides is diabetic retinopathy. Other, more sudden changes in vision, like eye strokes and NION, can lead to blindness, particularly in one eye. So if you do have any sort of pre-existing eye conditions or diabetic retinopathy, this just makes it worse. It makes it so that your eyesight can be attacked at any moment. So Ozempic can actually worsen something called diabetic retinopathy. It is a diabetes-related eye condition for people who are already experiencing these complications. This happens when the medication lowers the blood sugar levels too quickly, and these rapid changes in blood sugar can actually affect the blood vessels and damage them within the retina. Now, like some of the fish in the sea of my comments below always love to tell me, Lael, stop. I love Ozempic, you are fear-mongering. It's only 162 people dead. It's really not that many. But what if one of those people was you? What if one of those people was your mom who was taking this medication for her diabetes or taking this medication in order to look a certain way for an upcoming wedding? You have to understand that with every drug and every plastic surgery, there is a good, a bad, and an ugly. There's a percentage of people out there where this medication absolutely ruined or ended their life. And then there are a percentage of people who are going unscathed, absolutely enjoying and loving their life on Ozempic. I'm just trying to help you, somebody who potentially might be considering it, to look at both sides. Some people with PCOS have had their lives so positively impacted by taking Ozempic, and I am so happy for them, but this is not that video. Just like working out and eating a healthy lifestyle, you have to continuously put in work to maintain this weight level, and taking Ozempic is no different. You have to continue taking it to keep the weight off. Week 3 shot. Side effects for me is exhaustion and nauseated. He's not impressed.
When I see videos like this, I get really frustrated actually, because this young woman is trying to lower her body weight from 240 down to 175, and she's relying on Ozempic, a pharmaceutical medication, to help her get there. I don't know what else she's doing in her lifestyle right now, but there's other ways that she could lose weight that are far more powerful and that will last over the course of time. Ozempic doesn't work when you don't take it. So she's gonna take it for some period of time to get to her ideal body weight and then stop taking it. It's gone. She's gonna regain the weight. In addition to that, Ozempic also has a black box warning, but nobody's talking about it. The reason is because it increases your risk of thyroid C-cell tumors, pancreatitis, retinopathy, acute kidney injury, and gallbladder disease. We cannot overlook these complications, my friend.
Thank you so much for saying this. Everyone looks at me like I'm crazy when I tell them these risks/side effects for not wanting to use Ozempic. And those are just the symptoms we know of. We still don't know the long-term effects of being on this drug. I have gastroparalysis and my kidneys are failing. I am sick daily. You do not know the hell that could be your life if something like this goes wrong for you. People have even mentioned that once they discontinue using Ozempic, they are gaining double the weight back. If not double, they're gaining the same amount of weight back when they started. This creates the rebound effect, and you do not want to be on this prescription drug for the rest of your life, constantly risking these complications. The iconic fitness icon, Jillian Michaels. I used to watch all of her workout DVDs when I was like 13. That was literally how I exercised. She said this: once they get off the drug, it does the rebound effect, she says. So you're not gaining anything. You get off the drug in a year and you go all the way back. You've not learned anything. You've not built any physical strength or endurance. You haven't learned how to eat healthy. It's also highly recommended that you do all the right things when you take this drug anyway. They say, please eat the proper amount of protein, go to the gym, work out, move your body. You have to be able to remain as healthy as possible, because I think this drug will very much affect you, obviously.
If someone takes Ozempic, the correct way to do it is to eat at a modest calorie deficit, is to get enough protein, is to strength train. But if you do Ozempic and you just eat not enough protein, way too few calories, don't lift weights, you're gonna end up looking like crap. Before Ozempic, someone said, I'm doing 1,200 calories, I'm not losing any weight. They're eating way more. It's not easy. People love food. Having to eat less is very hard. And so Ozempic literally slows down food passing through your body so you stay full longer. And now people that thought they were doing 1,200 calories are actually doing 1,200 calories. And so the danger with Ozempic is that it cuts your appetite in half, which isn't really a good thing. You don't want to restrict your calories too much. If you go too low in calories, then you start to lose muscle. If you don't know how to eat correctly for muscle, then you don't get enough protein, so then you lose more muscle. That can be a negative. The leaner you want to get, the slower you have to take fat loss. Meaning if you have 50 pounds, you can lose weight fast. If you're losing the last 5 or 10 pounds, you do not want to starve yourself, or you're going to lose tons of muscle.
So at this point, we have arrived at the question, why are we even doing it? It is absolutely one thing if you suffer from diabetes. But if in life it's already very necessary for you to maintain and build your muscle mass, to eat a proper diet, somehow this is really ruining how important it is for us to create discipline within our lives. Ozempic ruins your mental health, nausea, vomiting, constant diarrhea, could potentially cause pancreatitis, kidney cancer, hypoglycemia, retinopathy, potentially death, and then there is a 80 to 90% chance that you will experience at least one of these things while on this drug. And you're not just allowed to sit on the couch all day to lose weight. You gotta get up and still maintain that muscle mass, still eat a good diet while taking this drug. In my opinion, it just feels like at this point, after this endless amount of research I feel like I've been doing, you are risking far too much by taking this drug. And if you don't have to take it, I would say don't take it at all. I've already made multiple videos on this topic. I have said various things, but this video came out today, or if you're watching this in 2 years, this video came out back then. I have changed my mind about a lot of things, and after reading a lot of information, it feels like it's okay for me to change my stance on this, because as time passes, we are learning much more. I feel very uncomfortable about these new statistics, and I worry about the people that are taking this drug. We need to make very informed decisions for ourselves as individuals. We cannot be influenced by media-driven health trends, because your health is not a trend, because you're a real person at the end of the day, and you need to enjoy life to the fullest. These are people risking their lives to take a medication that is specifically meant for people with diabetes just strictly to lose weight is insanity. These are antics that I cannot get behind. I don't have time to deal with these side effects personally. I have too much life to be living, and when you actually experience a health problem in your life, you would never do something. You would never take a drug, get some sort of filler. You would never get a BBL or a liquid BBL and do something that could risk your health even more, because you know how horrible it is when you have something like that happen to you. If you're taking Ozempic and you wake up with pancreatitis and you can't take care of your child, you can't see your family, you can't even go to the washroom properly, you can't even live your life, all to lose weight, it is just doesn't make any sense. Like I said, there are people with PCOS who have taken this that have absolutely loved it, people with diabetes who have taken it and it's absolutely changed their life, but this is not for them. This video is specifically angled at people who are thinking about taking Ozempic for weight loss alone. And me personally, unless you have to take it, just don't take it. You guys know I only make these videos because I love you. Thank you so much for being here and watching my channel. You have no idea how much it just means everything to me. Go ahead and like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe down below and comment and let me know what kinds of videos you would like to see in the future. If you did enjoy this video, you can go ahead and watch one of my other Ozempic videos to get yourself caught up, if you didn't know everything that I was going on about, or you can go ahead and click here to find out why you maybe should think twice before getting a facelift, or don't think at all. Just take the Ozempic and do the facelift. Do whatever you want. I'm totally kidding. I love you guys so much, and I will see you very soon. Mwah. Bye.